Very soon, an entity called the Colorado Prescription Drug Affordability Board, or PDAB, will decide if a drug called Stelara that psoriasis patients and patients with Crohn's disease need is, quote, affordable. And if not, they'll attempt to make it more affordable for Colorado patients. Will this board change insurance company policies that deny access to that medication because the insurance companies don't want to pay for it to keep their profits high? No. Will the board force insurance companies to keep patients' copays low so they aren't forcing them to do without the drug because of an enormous copay? No. And will the board stop insurance companies from under-reimbursing community pharmacies less than it costs them to buy the medicine? Also no. All of these things are major factors in why patients struggle today to get access to medicines like Stelara. But it's not what the board is going to do, and they're not going to address these issues. Insurance practices like these can be regulated by the state as they apply to insurance companies that operate in the Colorado market and are regulated by the legislature and the Division of Regulatory Agencies. But none of these are powers that the Colorado Prescription Drug Affordability Board has. The only power they do have is to set an upper limit on what the medicines cost once they enter the state of Colorado. When governments set price limits on medicine or anything else like gasoline or food or other staples, it creates an instant black market, as people with access to artificially low-priced medicine can suddenly make more money selling it outside Colorado than dispensing it inside Colorado. If you're a secondary wholesaler with artificially cheap medicine, would you sell it to a pharmacy in Colorado and make $50, or sell it to pharmacies in Kansas where there are no price controls and make a $1,500 profit? I think you know the answer. Also, this isn't going to change the on-the-ground reality for patients. Let me show you an example drawn from real data about how the Colorado Board could exercise their power and it would change absolutely nothing. So this here is an example of a dispense with Stelara today. Both the purchase price and the reimbursement are based on real data. I'm assuming for the moment that the copay from the insurance company for this patient is $100 and that it's a financial struggle for some patients. In this scenario, the pharmacy loses money on the dispense and the patient has a copay they find financially challenging. Now, imagine the Colorado Prescription Drug Affordability Board cuts the maximum price for Stelara to less than half. Here's a hypothetical example in which the state has set a $1,000 upper payment limit for the previously mentioned Stelara, which normally costs over $2,000. In this case, the pharmacy benefit manager can just keep the patient burden the same and reduce the reimbursement to the pharmacy so that they continue to lose money on the dispense. After such a radical act by the board, nothing would change for the patient. That's because the board doesn't have the power to fix the real problem, the insurance and pharmacy benefit manager's plan and the way they mess with the patient. But this assumes that the PBM doesn't get greedy, and we know that's not a good bet. Would anything prevent the PBM from under-reimbursing the pharmacy even worse? In this example, the PBM drops the reimbursement and the pharmacy loses $400 instead on this dispense, and the patient's cost is still the same. This happens because the Colorado Board doesn't actually have the power to regulate the entity who gatekeeps patient costs, the insurance and PBM companies. The goals of the Colorado Prescription Drug Affordability Board are laudable, but they are not achievable in the board's current form. If they go through this whole policy kabuki, they're going to get to the end of their process and find that the situation for patients of Stelara and other drugs in Colorado will be the same or even worse. Visit us at this URL where we have testimony, blog posts, and these examples. Scan the QR code or go to the web address.